Prior before the 2023 general election, Nigerians were told that your current president, Tinubu, does not sleep at night. Now, the PDP has come out to say, when we have a president who sleeps at night, petrol was sold at the rate of 79 naira. Now we have a president who doesn't sleep at night. Petrol is being sold for over 1,100 naira. When we have a president who sleeps at night, dollar was less than 200 naira. Now we have a president who doesn't sleep at night. Dollar is over 1,600 naira. Now the PDP has come out to say to the president, please, it's better is go back to sleep and vacate the place for Nigeria to breathe. Right now, it's suffocating us. Nigeria can't afford to feed. Nigerians can't afford to buy petrol. Nigerians can't afford, the many taxes they are using to suffocate our neck. They said that, well, I don't want to say everything here, but please, if you know you are currently suffering as a result of the bad policy of this government, you are in Nigeria, irrespective of where you are, hit the like button right now so that Facebook and YouTube can recommend it for all Nigerians to see. Please, as you are watching this video, just share it to all the platforms you belong so that Nigerians, the world, can see this video. Every Nigerians need to hear the things that the PDP dissect in this video. It is what everyone needs at the moment. I'm not in Nigeria. I've not been to Nigeria for like 11 years, but I'm terribly affected as a result of the witchcraft, satanic, ungodly, demonic policy of this government. Please hit the share button now. Let's watch the video together. God bless you.
Any from where you sit as an opposition?
Listening to him, being, as he described himself, one of the strategy people and blah, blah, blah.
During the campaigns.
You literally, if I were his president, I'll just pack my bag tonight and just leave Asoro. Because clearly, even from his own so-called supporter, it's clear that they say he sits up all night doing very little, and the impact is very...
Well, he didn't say he stays up all night and does very little.
There's a phrase in Yoruba that I'll try to translate to you in English. It says that when you don't know the answer to a sum or to the Ifa corpus, that you can stay in the sky all night and all day and he will not do much. If he doesn't sleep at night, and this is what we get, he had better sleep. Look, we have created this democracy by choice. A lot of them, and I too, fought and struggled until we got ourselves into self-rule. Little did we know that a time will come when a supposed Democrat or a democratically elected president in President Bola Tinubu of his party APC will be so unfeeling, insensitive, mean to the Nigerian people. Between, as at 2015, when they took power, the price of PMS in the country was 79 naira. And the exchange rate was roving around 199 to the dollar. Can you, in your mind, conceive of what could we have been buying as citizens of this country, apart from their own profligacy and their waste in government, that could have warranted us now having to be paying almost 1,000 in some places, officially over 800, in other places 900, within such a short time? And what could we have been guzzling that would bring our exchange rate from about 200 to the dollar to 1,600? You know what they're doing? They wake up in the morning and say, okay, mirror, mirror on the wall, what else can we do to make the Nigerians extremely angry and make their lives hard? Taxes. Mirror, mirror on the wall, are they crying hard enough? No. Let us add increase in fuel. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, is their life miserable enough? Not exactly. Let us increase inflation. That's what they've done. And, you know, with every sense of soberness, because we own this country together and we all love this country, we are forced to scream, lest they wreck the ship of state. Our country has a very large population of unemployed people and a very young population with a median age hovering around 18 or sometimes even less, depending on the stats you are looking at. And if you then imagine what they are contending with, and you see the kind of lackadaisical, wasteful manner, to the extent that you say you are transforming, you are buying jets for yourself, you are buying Escalade's bulletproof for yourself. You're spending money like it's going out of fashion. You're doing very gangling and dangling. You're speaking a lot of off-curve conversation. Your spokesperson are just talking for the fact that they are sitting down there and they're getting cheap money from the government.
Okay.
They are speaking against us without really looking at the faces of the people they are meant to be leading. And we say very clearly, this mistake must end soon. The earliest time for its end is the next election. And by the grace of God, if we hold our breath and hold our energy and just manage to survive the ones that are not finished by hunger and starvation and insecurity that has become a major issue in the country, we will just say, pack your bag and go and never again.
Interesting. But just to point out, when the president or the government buys private jets and fleets, is it a personal property of the president in power?
No, I think
it's state property.
this will stop that immediately.
No, I'm just asking you because
I'm going to answer you because when you say,
but I don't need to stop it.
Just stop it like immediately. Yeah. When you tell the citizens that life is hard, they have to carry burdens, they don't have enough money to even have a meal or two, you have to even give them palliative, converting the whole country to beggars because we really don't have money, and then all you have to show for your personal comfort are all of those trappings. If you justify the jet, would you also justify? If you justify the jet, would you justify the Escalade as well? Look,
Mr. Showman, it's not about justifying. I asked you a question. Is it the personal property? Because you said he's buying for himself.
Yeah, and he's going to be the one using it.
Okay, great. So,
what's wrong with the car that Buhari rode in? Was that bad for him? Okay. You don't spend government money like that. You don't project that kind of image to the Nigerian people, to a hungry people, to a desperate people, to people that are barely able to survive.
The optics are really wrong.
No, they're not wrong. They're totally bad.
Yes, and we get that point. But can I ask you?
Okay.
Is it fair to blame the current administration entirely for the economic challenges and the security situation, given that some of these issues... I have
given you two parameters.
Hold on.
Okay, and this one,
given that some of these issues, including the fuel subsidy debates and the insecurity, have been building up for years under multiple governments, including when your government was in power, the PDP.
Thank you. You know, when you speak this fancy English.
It's not fancy English. It's
the United States of America. Listen, girl.
Simple English.
It's very simple, but just listen. We left this fuel at 97 naira per liter. We left the exchange rate at 199. Let's just call it 200.
Were you paying subsidy?
Of course we were.
Exactly.
And all of that was accommodated in that regime. They've taken over government. They have told us, they have devalued us into poverty. Our money now is $1 to 1,600. Do you even know the full impact of that on everything else we do in the country? The fuel from 97 naira, we're now like roving at about 1,000 and we're queuing for days on end. Look, this one. I want to dash them my heart of empathy. But they make it very hard for any sane Nigerian that loves this country to understand what they think they're doing. They claim that they have the best team in the world and they have experts to do key performance evaluation at the beginning. When they said that, and they put Haja Adiza in charge of that, I was saying, okay, these guys are like serious. But you know what? They're so bogey. It's more than 15 months, they've not even been able to do an evaluation of themselves. If they did, they would have known that there's a lot wrong. On top of that, we're talking about the mystery of the Nigerian economy, the price of petrol, the price of oil. And we have a Mele Kyari sitting down in NPC, just whistling away and picking his teeth while our lives is getting miserable. They tell us on the first day of their regime that subsidy is gone. And now we're told that some people are paying subsidy via other names. And the most annoying part of it is that if we had the type of men that should carry a nation in the National Assembly, it's an impeachable offense. You can't spend national money without proper appropriation. So who has covered for that money? And suddenly, the voodoo magicians of NNPC are telling us they have a debt of 6 billion. They are looking for heart. You can't run this nation. A nation can't be run like this. You feel like crying because this is a country that has vast human resource. And they came here bragging, boasting, acting like they knew more than every other person on the planet. And this is what we get? This is what we really get? When was the last time you went into the far front corners of even the Southwest to go and look at how our people are living. And then you go to the far corners of the north and the east and everywhere. Must it be like this? Okay, we're just about saying, okay, Dangote, thank you. We now have a refinery that will give us a succor. And before we could even enjoy that moment, even just that moment of happiness for a second, these people came and no, it was not just the petrol queue. They are such a misery, sharing group of humans. They slammed us with an increase without discussing everybody. Now NLC is up in arms, NAS is up in arms, and you know that the numbers will keep increasing, because at the end of the day, are you running the country for the benefit of yourself?
Okay, so let me ask you.
Ask me.
If you were in power today, if the PDP was in power today, what are the specific policies you would implement to alleviate sufferings of Nigerians? What would you do differently?
Number one.
That this administration
Fire Millie. After firing Millie, take that NNPC and put it into private sector, like we've always said since 1999. We said that in 1999, they sat down in their fancy houses and they were saying, we want to sell it to ourselves. They don't even understand the thought processes that go into making sure that our own NNPC can also be as competitive as Petrol Brass of Aramco. But when you speak in this country, they think that, they have to like only a certain set of people's words and hate the truth. But when you hate the truth, it will come and bite you in the ass. What are we doing now? So that will do that. The second thing is that there is no way, I even think right about now, we need to legislate and write it in our laws. No human being dare devalue our currency without a full referendum. You know why? Because they not only do they improvise us today, they eat into our savings. Imagine someone that has been working all his life and he has saved up, let's just say, a random figure of 10 million, believing that 10 million at 200 naira, maybe that's about 5 million or so, or maybe even 50,000 or whatever $1,000 that gave him, and say, okay, I can manage myself. You come and devalue it to 160. The guy is barely going to get $6,000 for that, and that is $6,000 now is going to be impacted by the cost of food, the cost of everything. What have you done to us? Nations that are on a journey for transformation. I heard the president saying in China that he's a transformer. I think that nations that are on a journey for transformation will first of all say to themselves, you can't devalue our currency anyhow. One. Number two, now that we have a Dangote refinery that is now working, they need to snap out of this international price of crude. There's nothing like that. When you get a barrel of crude, you're going to get about 59 liters of petrol from it. When you break down the cost of the distillation, we don't pay workers in dollars here, so stop giving me American numbers. We don't pay taxes in dollars here, stop giving me American numbers. The government can use other means to make sure that Dangote can produce it at a cheaper rate so that we can then buy it at a cheap rate. They can't be telling us that they are running a country on some crazy capitalism concept of neoliberalization that takes almost 250 million people, makes our life a mess, so that they can go and sit down in some fancy place, be eating snails and eating pickles. And
you must be rolling with them a lot to know what they eat.
No, I see them on television and how they just go about like that. They don't care.
Perhaps you've been speaking fancy English to them as well.
No, I haven't been. I've been trying to speak to them, put their feet to the fire. I hope they listen though.
You've talked about the policies your party would have taken.
Just give me two. I can give you a whole lot more.
Indeed, but would you have removed petrol subsidy?
Okay.
As former vice president.
Thank you, because
I haven't finished my question.
Okay, finish.
Mr. Showme, please allow me to finish my question.
Hurry up with it.
I don't have to hurry up. It's my
You're
show.
eating into my time.
You are on my show.
Okay, thank you.
You cannot dictate the time, Mr. Showme.
All right, we can slow it a bit.
So, your candidate in the 2023 elections did say he was going to remove petrol subsidy, and I wanted to find out from you if that was a policy you were going to pursue. Should you have won the election?
Okay, are you done now?
Yes, I am.
Can I now approach?
Yes, you can.
Thank you, my lord.
You're welcome.
Now, when we say we're going to remove subsidy, did we ever tell them that we're going to come on the first and just tell them it's janked off? We have a history of how we did it in the past. Olusegun Obasanjo and Atiku as president in this country embarked on a phased removal of subsidy. And when I say phase, I'm not saying we remove 10,000 naira today and 10,000 naira. No! Before we will take the first phase out, we'll pull organized labor, manufacturers association, and all the critical stakeholders that this is going to impact, and we'll have the conversation. They will bring us a wish list of what they want to ameliorate that challenge. We'll meet the wish list, we'll take out phase one. We'll do the same thing in phase two, so the economy does not hemorrhage. Right now, what have they done? They've removed subsidy, people can't even manufacturers can, and then at the same time you hike the cost of tariff for electricity. It's like a double jeopardy at the same time, and they have the nerves. I repeat, they have the nerves in all of this telling us they're going to add 10%. They're going to increase what they call it VAT by 10%. Do you even know what VAT is? VAT is the only tax that somebody that is going to buy anything pays out of that tax. When they increase VAT, what did they expect will happen? It's going to impact the price of product because they're going to pass on the taxes to the
consumers.
So what are they really doing?
Okay, so if election were to hold today, what makes you confident that Nigerians would trust the PDP? Because you talked about the elections in your opening comments, and so that's why I'm asking you. Do you believe the Nigerians are confident your party will turn things around, giving criticisms and challenges that were also accompanied by your administration?
Well, I think that the Nigerians must understand one thing. Democracy gives them the right to choose who they want. But common sense ought to let them understand that you have tried us, you had life abundant, everybody was kind of like okay, and then you've tried them now, things have gone really, really bad. Why would you want to stick with such a people? So when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. And I can guarantee you we're going to be bringing them smoking ideas again, just like we did the last time. We released our manifesto before theirs. They ended up copying it. We came on television. We answered query. Our candidates attended interviews. What did they do? They ballad blew to themselves all over the place, and nobody could even ask them a single question. So if the Nigerians who have the right to choose in a democracy were to take a decision, I expect that they should look at their cousins, they should look at their brothers, they should look at their stomach, they should look at their house rent, they should look at their cost of living, and they should look at the entire insecurity all over the place. Do you know what it means for you to have an emir held who stayed for so many months, and at the end of the day he gets killed, and they just kill everybody anyhow, and then after that you come and start backing other? I'm sending you that. What were they doing in the villa in the first time? What was the minister of state for what they call it, for defense? What was they doing in Abuja in the first instance? If his region was that bad, don't we have garrisons there? They don't know what they are doing. They just like playing to the gallery.
Okay, and my final question to you as we wrap this up, Mr. Showomi. If you had a direct line to President Bola Tinubu, what would you say to him about the economic situation and the rising disconnect among Nigerians? What would you tell him?
If I had to talk to him, I'll say, Ashadu Bola Tinubu, let's call it what it is. You need to press the default button, expand the number of people who will help you put together a reasonable cabinet. If you want to run a government of national unity, you need brilliant people, not garrulous, noisy, quarrelsome, and extremely annoying members of opposition that you put in your party. You would then, and then I would then say to him, Mister, we're running Nigeria for Nigerians. We're not running Nigeria so that people can be telling us the only thing we're thinking about is, GDP numbers. No. You are going to have to think about the livelihood of the Nigerian today. And when you said, let the poor breathe, I actually thought you meant it. Now you need to cut down the size of your government. You need to tell this your National Assembly that, okay, fine, I have a majority there. That doesn't mean I expect people to just pass everything I do. And if they know what they're doing, they ought to call him now because he's the Minister of Petrol. He needs to come and explain to us who appropriated the money that they're using for the subsidy that nobody knows whether it's subsidy or it's not subsidy. It's an impeachable offense to spend money that is not appropriated. And then I'll then tell him, Mr. President, sleep at night because not sleeping at night is making it worse.
That's a lot of things to tell the president.
He knows I'll tell him that easy.
But did I also hear you fire a shot at a member of your party who is serving in the government party? You did mention something about quarrelsome opposition in his cabinet, but we'll have to leave it there.
No, there's plenty of time for that on another day.
The very fanciful Mr. Segun Showomi.
Totally my pleasure. Happy to be here.